Hello there, fifth graders, and welcome to this chapter 4 practice test. If you're watching this video, you should be taking the practice test with me. And if you're taking the practice test with me, you should have your scratch paper out, just like I do. And by the time you're finished doing this practice test with me, your scratch paper should look exactly like mine, because you should be solving every question with me. Remember that in order to do your best on a test or on any math assignment, you need to use scratch paper for every single question. Of course, that doesn't apply to vocabulary questions, but aside from that, you should be using your scratch paper for every single question. So do not use this video to just find out what all the answers are. Instead, use this video to do the entire test with me. Okay, so here's the first question. We won't need our scratch paper on this first question, actually on the first few, because they're all vocabulary questions. This first one says, when you blank, you find the approximate value of a number. Remember, the word approximate means around the same as. So when you blank, you find the approximate value of a number. It means you find an answer that's around the exact answer, but not exactly the right answer, and that's rounding. When you're rounding, you're finding an estimate or an approximate answer, an answer that's around the exact answer. So it's when you round, you find the approximate value of a number. Next, a number that is being divided. Remember that with every division problem, you have the dividend, which is divided by the divisor, and the answer is the quotient. So the number that's being divided is the dividend. It's divided by the divisor. So in an example like 21 divided by 7 equals 3, 21 is the dividend. 21 divided by 7 is the divisor, and 21 divided by 7 equals 3 is the quotient. So dividend divided by divisor equals quotient. Numbers in a problem that are easy to compute mentally, that is compatible numbers. When things are compatible with each other, it means they get along well. And so compatible numbers are numbers that get along well in your head, like 20 divided by 10 equals 2. Those are compatible numbers. They're easy to compute mentally. You don't need scratch paper, really, for them. The number that is left after one whole number is divided by another. So let's say you have, instead of 21 divided by 7, what about 22 divided by 7? Well, 22, let's say there's 22 students, and they have to get on 7 buses. There would be 3 students on each bus, but there will be 1 student left over, because 21 divided by 7 is 3, but remainder 1, because 21, I'm sorry, I think I said that wrong. 22 divided by 7 would be 3, but there would be a remainder of 1, because 7 times 3 is exactly 21. So if it's 22 divided by 7, if there was like 22 donuts and you wanted to put them in equal groups of 7, there would be 3 in each group, but you'd have 1 donut left over. That's the remainder. So the number that is left after one whole number is divided by another is the remainder. The number that divides the dividend, that's the divisor. So in like 36 divided by 9 equals 4. 36 would be the dividend. 9 would be the divisor. 36 divided by 9, and then 4 would be the quotient, and that's this next one. The result or answer to a division problem, that's the quotient. So in 35 divided by 7 equals 5, 5 is the quotient. That's what you call the answer to a division problem. Here we have the first actual question. It says 634 divided by 74. Now this is written as a long division problem, but since it says find the best estimate, we don't actually need to find the exact answer, so we don't need to write it. We don't need to write it as an actual long division problem. We can write it like this: 634 divided by 74. But since we don't need the exact answer, we don't need to leave these numbers the way they are. We can round so that we find an answer that's around the exact answer. And so we can see 63 and 7, those are compatible numbers with each other because 63 is a multiple of 7. So let's leave that 63 part the same, and we'll change the 4 to a 0. So we rounded this number to the tens place. Divided by, since 7 is a compatible number with 63, we'll leave that 7 the same, and we'll change the 4 to a 0, rounding 70 to the tens place as well. And then this 0 cancels this 0. Now we just have 63 divided by 7 equals 9. So 634 divided by 74 is about 9. And now you just need to find the answer choice that says that same thing, and that's this one right here. 630 divided by 7 equals 9. So 634 divided by 74 is about 9. Now, box that work off that we did for that question, and let's move on to the next one. Let's see, yeah. Okay, so this one says, and again it says, oh, this one says solve. So on this one, it's not written as a long division problem, but we need to write it as a long division problem because it says solve. It doesn't say find the best estimate, it doesn't say round, it says solve. That means we need to find the exact answer. Now, the first thing we need to do is refresh ourselves on what our long division steps are. They're divide, multiply, subtract, compare, bring down, repeat, cycle through the steps as many times as you need to, and then at the end, write your remainder. Now, can 71 fit into 9? No. Can 71 fit into 92? Yes. Which means the first part of our quotient will go above the 2 in 92. Now, 71 doubled would have to be more than 92 because even 50 doubled is 100, and 71 is more than 50. Therefore, 71 doubled would have to be a lot more than 100, which is more than 92. So we know it can only fit in one time. Now we do 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 7 is 7. Now we subtract. 2 minus 1 is 1. 9 minus 7 is 2. Now we compare. Is 21 smaller than 71? Yes. Now we bring down. Now we have to go back to divide. Now we're dividing 71 into 216. Now that's a little hard, but the trick is look at the 7 and look at the 21. Since 7 can fit into 21 3 times, perhaps 71 can fit into 216 3 times. So let's try a 3 here. Notice I'm using pencil because sometimes you try a number out, it doesn't work. That's called adjusting the quotient. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 7 is 21. Now we subtract. 6 minus 3 is 3. Is 3 smaller than 71? Yes. So the answer is 13, remainder 3. Since there's nothing left in the dividend for us to bring down, that's how we know we're done, and the remainder is 3. So now we just have to find that answer here, 13, remainder 3, and it's this one right here. Moving on, it says solve 928 divided by 32. Now, can 32 fit into 9? No. Can 32 fit into 92? Yes. And let's see, since 3 can fit into 9 3 times, perhaps 32 can fit into 92 3 times. So you try a 3 there, but you can already see that it's not going to work. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. See, when this happens, 96 is bigger than 92, so you can't even subtract. That's when you know you need to adjust the quotient down. So that 3 didn't work, so let's try a 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. Now we subtract. We can't take 4 from 2, so we borrow from the 9, make it an 8, making this 2 a 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. 8 minus 6 is 2. Is 28 smaller than 32? Yes. So now we bring down the 8. Now, it's kind of hard to figure out how many times 32 can fit into 288. So that's why you look at the 3 and you look at the 28. Since 3 can fit into 28 9 times, since 3 times 9 is 27, perhaps 32 can fit into 288 9 times. So let's try a 9 there. 9 times 2 is 18. See, 18. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 1 is 28. And now 288 minus 288 is 0. And the answer is 29. So it's this answer right here, 29. Now, I hope you're solving all of these with me. Let's go ahead and box off the work we do for each one to keep our scratch paper nice and neat. That's important. Why is it important to keep your scratch paper nice and neat? So that you can go back over your work before you submit your test. Okay, this one says solve 85,120 divided by 76. Okay, can 76 fit into 8? No. Can 76 fit into 85? Yes. And we know double 76 will be more than 85. That means it only fits in one time. Now we multiply. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 7 is 7. Now 85 minus 76. We can't take 6 from 5, borrow from the 8, make it a 7, making the 5 a 15. Now it's 15 minus 6, which is 9. Okay, is 9 smaller than 76? Yes, so now we bring down the 1. Okay, now 76 doubled will be bigger than 91, so we know this only fits in one time too. Okay, 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 7 is 7. Now, we can't take 6 from 1, borrow from the 9, make it an 8, making this 1 and 11. 11 minus 6 is 5, 8 minus 7 is 1. Is 15 smaller than 76? Yes. Now we bring down the 2. Now, we're dividing 76 into 152. That's kind of hard, but look at the 7 and look at the 15. Since 7 can fit into 15 twice, perhaps 76 can fit into 152 twice. Let's try it too. 2 times 6 is 12, carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. And 152 minus 152 is 0. Now we bring down this 0. 76 can fit into 0. 0 times 76 is 0. And 0 minus 0 is 0. So the answer is 1,120. And that's this answer right here, 1,120. Okay. The next one also says solve. Let's box off the work we did for that one. 37,520 divided by 61. Okay. Can 61 fit into 3? No. Can 61 fit into 37? No. Can 61 fit into 375? Yes. So that means the first part of our quotient goes above the 5. Now, that's kind of hard to figure out how many times 61 can fit into 375. So look at the 6 and look at the 37. Since 6 can fit into 37 6 times, perhaps 61 can fit into 375 6 times. So try a 6. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Now we have 375 minus 366. We can't take 6 from 5, borrow from the 7, make it a 6, making this 5 a 15. Okay, 15 minus 6 is 9. And then, is 9 smaller than 61? Yes, so now we bring down the 2. Now we're dividing 61 into 92. Double 61 will be more than 92, so it can only fit in once. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 6 is 6. Now we subtract. 2 minus 1 is 1. 9 minus 6 is 3. Is 31 smaller than 61? Yes. Bring down the 0. Now we're dividing 61 into 310, which again is kind of hard, but the trick is look at the 6 and look at the 31. Since 6 can fit into 31 5 times, perhaps 61 can fit into 310 5 times. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 6 is 30. Okay, now we borrow from this 1, make it a 0, making this a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. So 615, remainder 5. So you're looking at this one right here, 615, remainder 5. Okay, box off that work. And then There's some word problems, and we're almost done with this test. We only have 3 more word problems. Timothy purchased 11 tickets to a baseball game for $374. About how much did one ticket cost? Choose the best answer. So he spent $374. Oh, also, remember, it's important to highlight important parts on word problems. So the way that you do that is you find all the numbers along with their units. So 11 is a number. 11 what? 11 tickets. Highlight it. 337 what? $337. So you also highlight the dollar sign. And then you find the question. How much did one ticket cost? Choose the best answer. But then the other important part is the word about. About lets you know you do not have to find the exact answer. Instead, you're just looking for an answer that's around the exact answer. That lets us know we're going to estimate. We're just finding an approximate answer. So 374 divided by 11. Now, what we need to do here is find a compatible number with 37 that's compatible with 11, and we don't always have to perfectly follow rounding rules, because if we did, this would round to 370, but that's not a compatible number with 11. Now, 33 is a compatible number with 11, so even though it breaks the rounding rules, I'm going to change this to 330 divided by 11. Another way that you could do it is you could change it to 370 and then round the 11 to 10. So this would be 33 divided by 11 is 3. You take the 0 from the dividend and put it in the answer. Here the zeros cancel, and it's 37 divided by 1, which is 37. So we're looking for an answer that's about 30, about 37, and we see the closest is about 40. So we're going to choose that, about 40. So it looks like what they did is, and sometimes when it's an estimate question, you have to pick the best one. It looks like the direction that I was going when I made this test is that I rounded this number to the hundreds place. So I rounded it to 400. And then I rounded the 11 to 10. These zeros cancel. Then it's 40 divided by 1, which is 40. It looks like that's the estimating direction I went. But you can see that all of these would be appropriate answers, or at least these two would be appropriate answers when finding an estimate, because 37 and 40 are really in the same ballpark. 30's maybe a bit off. Okay, next one. Thomas is placing 104 photographs. You should highlight 104 photographs in a school yearbook. He will put the same number of photos on each of the 13 pages. You should highlight that too. And then here's the question. How many photos will he put on each page? The reason why it's really good to highlight the important parts like that is because it takes all the fluff out of a word problem, all the parts you don't really need. This is all you really need. You don't need to know that his name is Thomas. You don't even need to know that it's a school yearbook. All you need to know is that there's 104 pictures, 13 pages. If the same number of pictures are on each page, how many photos will be put on each page? So we just need to divide 104 by 13. Now, 13 cannot fit into 1. It cannot fit into 10. It can fit all the way into 104. So 13 is about 10, and 10 would fit into 100 10 times. So we're looking at something around there. So we can only put one digit here. So let's put a 9, because 9 is closest to 10. 9 times 3 is 27, and 9 times 1 is 9, plus 2 is 11. That didn't work. See, we can't subtract 117 from 104. So I'm gonna use whiteout. Mrs. Fawning gave me this nice whiteout. It's already dry by the time it goes on the page. It's really nice. So let's try an 8. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. And 104 minus 104 is 0, so the answer's 8. Notice I tried a number out and it didn't work, so I had to adjust the quotient. And you have to be okay with doing that when you're doing long division problems. You can't let yourself get frustrated and just give up. There's one question left. I'm going to turn my scratch paper over so I have room. A jet ski costs $3,204. I'm going to highlight that. If you want to make 36 equal payments, I'm going to highlight that. Then the question, how much will each payment be? Okay, what we have to do is divide $3,204 by 36. 36 cannot fit into 3, it cannot fit into 32, but it can fit into 320. So I'm going to put the first part of my answer above the 0 and 320. 36 is almost 40, so I'm going to pretend this 3 is a 4, and I'm going to look at the 32. 4 can fit into 32 8 times, so perhaps 36 can fit into 328 times, so let's try an 8. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 4 is 28. Now it's 320 minus 288. We can't take 8 from 0, so we borrow from the 2, make it a 1, making this 0 a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. Now we have 31 minus 28, which is 3. Is 32 smaller than 36? Yeah, barely, but it is smaller. Now we bring down this 4. And again, it's kind of hard to figure out how many times 36 can fit into 324. But I'm just going to look at the 3 and the 32 here, and let's pretend it's a 4. So let's try an 8. So 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 4 is 28. I can't take 8 from 4, so I borrow from the 2, make it a 1, making this 4 a 14. 14 minus 8 is 6, and 31 minus 28 is 3. Look, is 36 smaller than 36? No. When this number is the exact same, what it means is that the last part of the quotient that you just wrote can go up by exactly 1. So I'm going to erase all this, and that 8 didn't work, so I'm going to try a 9. 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 5 is 32. And 324 minus 324 is 0, so it's exactly 89 payments. I would click that, and then press submit. Go ahead and press submit. Get 100% on this practice test, but only if your scratch paper looks like this. You need to have all these problems done on your scratch paper, and this will be looked at. You do need to turn this piece of scratch paper in. You need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 problems done on your scratch paper with me, and all but a couple of them are long division problems. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this math lesson. I hope it helped prepare you for your Chapter 4 test, which is tomorrow, and I will catch you next time. Signing off.